Well, John, do you want to talk about the grading thing about like attendance?
Oh yeah, for sure. So for the post class thing, basically if you didn't come to class, you can't get any points. So some people kind of went in like, no, I didn't come to class today, but it was amazing. They got like 3 points. So I just gave you all a 0 on that. But if I gave you a 0 on one of the classes we have recorded, you can like hit the recording and then use that as one of your like 2 remote ones. So just let me know for that and I can fix it. But yeah, in the future, just if you didn't come to class, just don't do that. If you do, I'll just change it to a 0. But yeah, that's it. Any questions about that? Cool.
Okay, yeah. We hadn't explained that very well. I know it was like kind of confusing, but I think moving forward, that'll be easier. And that way, like, you don't get dinged if like, oh, I could have been getting 3 points for all these classes I missed. But again, like, talk to John and I if you're worried about attendance stuff, and we'll try to work with you. Remember too that it really is a pretty low percentage of your total grade, so you can probably afford, in addition to the 2 freebies you get where you can watch class for full credit, I think you can afford a decent number of other absences as well. So, but I want you to be here, so I don't know if I should even say that. I'm curious, did you guys find any cool products during the activity that we ended with last time, like the Sherlock Holmes thing? Did anyone find any like promising cost per click Sherlock Holmes method things?
I will share. I think I did.
Oh yeah, I think you did, huh?
I searched so plants. You can propagate some of them, which means you can take like a piece or cutting and grow a new plant. And there's like little glass vials or little things you can buy, like put them in. And like searching propagation, there's like a lot of keywords about 5 cents. So that could be a good option.
Yeah, that's awesome. 5 cents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cheap ones.
So that means that hopefully you guys can like get used to doing this math really quick, because if you just think about it, if you need 100 people, if you have a 1% conversion rate, you need 100 people to come to your site before you get a conversion, which is pessimistic, but if that's the case, then you'll definitely be profitable, right? So you can just do 5 cents times 100. That means that John's ad spend would be $5 for a conversion on that keyword if you could find a product to go with it. So not bad. Yeah, anything else? Did anybody else find anything promising or interesting? Okay, no worries. And as you guys get better at Google Ads too, I don't know. Even if the Google keyword planner is like, this keyword costs $1 per click, you might be able to confidently say like, I think I can bring that a lot further down than the average, because I'm gonna like work on this, and I have some tricks of how we can optimize it. So that's a thing. All right, so today we're going to review. I'm excited to hear about what companies you reviewed. We'll talk about that. And then we're going to review some of the Google Ads stuff from last time and dive a little bit deeper into it. Actually, before that too, I'm going to share random wisdom thought with you all. And at the end, we'll do this activity. It'll be kind of like it'll be a game where we're going to like do some competitions around the vocabulary we've been learning in some of these concepts. So be emotionally prepared for that. But yeah, let's see. I want to hear what everybody reviewed. So let's see. I'm trying to decide if we should just have like everybody share, or if it would be better to just have people raise their hands if they want to. Let's just start with raising their hands. I want to hear some of the companies and products that you guys reviewed. Yeah.
I reviewed Rancheritos.
Okay. What did you give them?
Like 3.5. Because and whenever I go there and I get like the tortillas, it's always like buried under.
Yeah.
So when you get it out, it's like super soggy.
Oh.
But then
yeah.
I said that like for like being able to go there at 3 a.m. It's like
Okay. I like it. Seems like a fair review.
There with the soggy tortilla.
those like massive like styrofoam boxes with like 5 pounds of it. I
Yeah.
don't even know what it's called.
Yeah. It's like the best college meal though. So iconic. I hate that so much. Okay, Jacob, and then Jorge.
I reviewed Rancho Markets.
Rancho Markets.
Yeah.
Nice.
I give them 5 stars because I always shop there for their produce. They have like the
Really?
cheapest produce I've got it all photo.
Huh.
And I don't know. Let me know if you love like I like that. It's healthy. And they're eating pretty good. Sometimes they have
Awesome.
like cheese, not right. So that's like my like.
Dude, 5 avocados for $1. So
That's crazy.
they're little, but still.
It changes a lot, but yeah, I've seen like things like that. 5 for $1.
4 cucumbers, $1.
Yeah.
My wife and I got 33 avocados one day.
Got a bunch of Rancho Market ambassadors here. Yeah, that place is awesome though. It's just like a little taste of Latin America. I love it.
And that of course. I like.
Yeah. Jorge?
I reviewed Tuppa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I think I put a 4 because I really like the food, but they always take a long time. There's not a lot of seating space also when you go.
That's fair.
So-
Yeah.
But I think the food is
Okay. It is really good. Yeah.
I used to live like
I agree with those things.
All right. What else?
It's pretty good there.
Yeah, Annika?
There's an esthetician in Calgary where I used to live, and she'd always do like my eyelashes, and sometimes they would last like 5 weeks, which is really long.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, everyone touches their eyes a lot. So I left her a 5-star review, said that she was really good, blah, blah. And then she actually commented back and was like, oh, thank you so much. I miss your service, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I'm sure that helps her so much. That's great. She's probably like, it's just kind of fell out of the sky.
And she like moved from Vietnam to Calgary and then like started her own business.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Cool. All right. Yeah. What else? Yeah.
Mine
we're
was
done.
more of a negative review.
Okay.
I bought an Amazon product. It was my wife and I bought a steamer,
Okay.
and we typed in like cordless steamer. The first one that popped up had really good reviews, and every picture it had no cord, and it came with a cord.
What?
And
Oh my.
so we were like, "What the heck? Like, why is it under the cordless handheld steamer
Yeah.
if it's not?"
Good for you though. Your good judgment is
Stick it to
fine.
Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah, Gabby.
I did Built Bar because I've been really testing their customer service lately because they can't seem to deliver to the right location. It
Okay.
took 3 times
Yikes.
and they had to switch carriers. But,
Yeah.
like it wasn't their fault necessarily. It's whoever they were using as the carrier. But
Uh-huh.
they were really good about saying like, oh, no questions asked. Like they sent me like notes.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they sent me like a discount code after the second
Wow.
problem. And she's like, you know, if you ever want to like, just let us know what carrier you want us to use or like to use the other one in the future. So
Good for them.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. What rating did you give them?
I got my 5.
Cool. Man, I was this close to getting Built Bar as an NCO client a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. The guy just kind of got busy, or I don't know. Maybe my quote was too high. I'm not really sure, but every time I see it, I'm like, I miss it.
I just reviewed a product we got on Amazon. It's a balloon arch for a baby shower kit.
Okay.
A 5 because it's super easy and really inexpensive. We've done a shower, not only for bridal shower, we've done a baby shower before and bought all the everything just kind of individually.
Yeah.
Whatever Zerkers. And it was crazy expensive and hard, and so I gave up on a few things to get kids and
Oh,
everything.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love to think about what other entrepreneurs are like running products like that too, and like they're doing better than like the big chain observers, and like they totally deserve a little help. That's awesome. Okay. Any last ones? All right. Well, let's. Oh, please,
I
Dan.
did the movie theater. Maybe Clark, theater 5. Something like that.
Nice. Which one is it?
I don't know the other one, the eye.
Okay. That is a good one. Yeah. What do you like about it?
Well, I love movies. Like, it's got a great environment, massive screen, the food's good, so
Nice.
I'm playing.
I like it. Cool. All right. So let me tell you guys a little story, and then I want to get your opinions about this. So this is my sister Brianna. She is 17. She's such a cute girl. She's like 4 years younger. So I'm 26. I have a 24-year-old brother and a 22-year-old brother, and then she's about to turn 18. So she's the youngest. Kind of an interesting family dynamic we've had. We always joke we feel kind of bad because she feels like she's been raised by adults basically, and like we're all just boys too. But so, but a couple weeks ago, Brianna is gonna have a sleepover with her cousin, and she like cancels her plans with her friends. Like her friends wanted to go do this fun thing, but she's like, no, like Michaela's gonna come, but Michaela doesn't have a car, so she's gonna take the train to get to Alpine, where they live, where Brianna lives. But the train comes and Michaela misses it. She's like, oh, my mom asked me to do this thing, and then like a couple hours later it comes and she misses it. A couple hours later she's like, okay, I'm going to be there. I'll come, and Brianna drives to the train station to pick her up. She misses it again. And at the end of the night, she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't know. It's probably too late. I won't come." And like, poor Brianna has just like been waiting at home alone all day. And then I was like, "Well, are you gonna talk to Michaela about that, or like what? What are you gonna do?" And Brianna says, "I don't want to say anything though, because anytime I say something negative to her, she stops talking to me. I'll just forgive her and let it go." So. But yeah, in a second here we'll talk about like what I'm trying to highlight. But what do you guys feel like? Is this like the right response? Like what's missing here, or why is it perfect? What do you think? Jacob?
Well, if I just think correctly, like this is kind of like how the sister responds, like negative comments, I don't know. But like in the case of just like an individual basis, like I don't think that's okay. Like, you shouldn't like let those in a circle like push her around. I mean, she's her own person.
Yeah.
She deserves to stand up for something like you treated fairly.
Right.
So like, I mean, yeah, you should be like compassionate for them, but I mean, set your boundaries. Like, make sure they know. Like, I didn't appreciate it. I waited for you. You could have at least told me. If like they're not mature enough to handle that, well, I mean, that says warm up their thinking.
Yeah, it's true. So if that's gonna like really hurt her relationship with Michaela, do you think she should still say it?
I mean, I think so because I think long term it might help them become closer,
Yeah.
but short term, yeah, like obviously it'll cause some damage. But I think it's more important to think ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Dan?
I won't say anything, I don't care enough, but never pick her up from anything ever again. I want to sleep over anything. No.
You're like, oh, you want to play passive aggressive.
Oh, no, it's not worth the time anymore.
Yeah, no, I get that though. Sometimes it's kind of like, is this relationship worth the investment? Yeah, Camille?
I think it's kind of like the opposite, like thinking of like ourselves as Michaela and like your sister as like
Brianna.
yeah, consumers or people that are giving us like advice for like our businesses. We never want to seem like we're the kind of person that if someone like tells us something we don't want to hear, that we're just gonna like shut down or whatever because we really want to invite the negative feedback because that's what's going to help us grow and be better. So I think we don't want people to just think like, oh, I'm just going to like not respond, you know,
Yeah.
like every company wants to know if their customer service is bad so they can improve it, or like
Right.
you want to know if something that you did isn't up to standard so you can improve it, and so that you're gonna like more people will enjoy your product. So I think like, just invite like everyone's opinions, that way you can improve.
Yeah, that's cool. Invite negative feedback. Eric?
Another thing is, like, if you ever look through more than 10 reviews for something, and there's no negative review on them, it starts to look kind of fishy. Because, like, every product or service that has a decent number of people experiencing it is going to get some random customer who just hates it.
Yeah.
For some random reason.
Right.
It's a terrible review. So I feel like when I look through reviews and there's a few like really negative reviews on there, but most of them are really good, I'm like, wow, this must be a solid product.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like all like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, I'm like, this is a fake product. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. I can totally see that. Yeah, Jorge?
I've heard there's a rule of 20-80, 20-60-20.
Okay.
Like 20 people are gonna love the product regardless of whatever you do. 20 people are gonna hate the product regardless of what you do.
Okay.
And then you have to convince the other 60.
Interesting.
So just like he said, I actually heard this about bishops. I think it applies. Like there's people are gonna love it, and there's people are gonna hate it, and then you have to work with the 60%.
Okay.
To get the other 40%.
I like that. Annika?
I think in Brianna's sense, like if she doesn't say anything, what's going to stop Michaela from thinking that that was wrong and not doing it again in the future? Like if you
Interesting.
never tell someone that what they did was wrong or it hurt you, then they're just going to keep doing it because they didn't see anything wrong with it and they don't know your point of view.
Yeah, I love that. I know. Is it possible that even though Michaela will hurt and like be angry about it, like being upfront with Michaela is like the higher act of love here? Yeah, I like this in context, in personal and in reviews, though. I think that it's so applicable. So yeah, I think, and Michaela's response is really what I want to highlight here, because I do think that Brianna needs to like stand up for herself, and there's probably some other lessons there about like miscommunication and things like that. But one thing I've been thinking about lately is just that, as a general rule, people are not good at accepting criticism. Like inviting negative feedback, like Camille says, like I think that makes most people just kind of shudder, and it's kind of scary, especially if it's something personal. I don't know, business too. But what is the intent behind some of these things that we say to people when somebody calls us out on something? Why do we respond this way when somebody says, hey, you shouldn't have done that, or like that's dumb, or like that wasn't well informed that you did that?
It's defensive
Yeah,
instead of just accepting what you did something wrong.
totally. Yeah, and it's almost like we're trying to punish them for criticizing us, right? Like, wow, it's almost as if I know how to drive, and the other person's like, sorry, I just like didn't know if you saw that car coming, and like they're looking out for you, but like your own ego is there trying to punish them and be like, don't you ever question me again. I never do anything wrong in the world. And we're all guilty of this. Like I've kind of said or like done some of these things. I was talking to Kat about this yesterday, and she was like, oh yeah, you do that sometimes. And I think it's something that we all just do. And when Kat said that, you know what I said? I said, thanks for telling me that. Good point. You're so right. I shouldn't have done that. But kind of like what you guys are talking about, I think that in our personal lives and in business, each of us could do a better job at inviting negative feedback. And when somebody gives it to you, just take a slice of that humble pie and say, I'm thankful that you have pointed this out and I'm going to do better. you know. And sometimes people do it like without any kindness, you know, like it's totally unfair. You feel like it's so unwarranted, bad timing. And in those situations, especially, if you can say these things, good point. Thanks for telling me. That is like a level of like meekness that I think God is really proud of. Yeah, Jorge.
You know the brand Spanx?
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Sarah Blakely created it, and she has a course in masterclass. So I watched it, and she talks about receiving criticism.
Yeah.
And she talks about when I show my product to someone about criticism, I'm the most critical on the product, so I already know what they're gonna say.
Okay, yeah.
So when I listen to them, I just expect this, and I know I can tell them why this is the problem.
Right.
So when she gets it, it's just like a way to get feedback to what she thought compared to what other people are thinking, because obviously the customer is the best.
Yeah.
And then she takes that just to make it better.
That's
She
awesome.
obsesses the customer with the product.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that because I have found that I do this, but just her way to thinking of criticism is just let's get it so we can improve.
Yeah, that's awesome. And such like a healthy attitude too. Like, this isn't about me. This is just about the product. Eric?
This is about like professional scenes too. Like just responding really badly escalates the situation
Yeah.
in a very awkward way when you're in person. But definitely in reviews, if the business responds in a poor way and like escalates, it just looks terrible.
Yeah.
Or like if it's just like, oh, sorry, contact customer service. That's pretty bad too.
Right.
But when businesses respond really well to this negative feedback, it like really shines. Like they look really good.
Yeah.
In that negative review, they look good. Because they responded well.
Interesting. Yeah. If they're able to like just honestly be like, sorry, we messed up. How can we make this better?
Yeah. I'm going to share an example.
Yeah, please.
I've been researching products on AliExpress, and there's this one product with negative review, and the seller responded. I think it's Chinese translated in English. But the last part was, "I wish you a happy life."
I wish you a happy life. That's amazing. Catherine?
Yeah, this is just like reminding me of companionship, like inventories.
Yeah.
I just feel like whenever you respond with like the better side, it always just like you leave on a way better side, and like feels better about the conversation.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I know, talk about a good example of this, right?
I was going to say too that I read a book by Jamie Cornelius, who's the founder of Get Cosmetics, and she said, never fails wherever she goes, some random person will recognize her, and 9 out of 10 it's people who say I had a problem with shipping or I had this, it's always negative.
Yeah.
So, and she's kind of like what he's saying about the Spanx founder, she knows more than anyone what the negative points are, but I think it just was for me a reminder that to share the good things that you like about the products you use and the places you visit, because they've heard a lot of negative already. It's good to share it, not just with them, but with other people with positives, because then you just know about that.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Like, I think that if you are used to giving authentic, positive feedback to people and companies when they do something good, then you won't feel as bad when you do give a negative review.
Right, and you value that one.
Yeah, totally. Great thoughts, guys. Yeah, and I think a lot of this comes back to just taking it too personally, like this isn't about my driving, this isn't about my company. It can even be something like you feel like they're criticizing like your character as a person, and you just feel like your only choice is to fight tooth and nail and convince them that they're wrong, and it's not ever even a question, did I actually do something wrong? But most of us, I think, should have a better relationship with ourselves, that like everybody makes dumb mistakes. Like we literally all do. And yet we're so harsh on ourselves, and we give ourselves like zero space to do that. But I hope that you will all just give yourselves plenty of space to do that. And like, yeah, I did this thing I totally shouldn't have done. I totally messed up. But like, that's okay. Like I still love and respect myself. And I think that if you can have that attitude, giving and receiving negative and positive feedback will be so much easier. Okay, and then last thing too is just some of these ideas too are so common, but if you love someone, you don't criticize them, right? You only see the good. These are toxic ideas that, by the way. If you criticize someone, it means that like you have a personal problem with them. Like you're trying to like say that you don't like them, basically. Or if someone hurts you, you should just be Christ-like and let it go. Kind of like with Brianna's case, like if somebody wrongs you, then you should be like, oh, well, I could tell them that I had to pay a big price because of that, but I'll just let it go. I'll just forgive them. And certainly that is a noble thing, and I think that there are places where it applies. But I think that being authentic with people about like what you need and like what is happening, what you're thinking and feeling is just as holy as forgiving people. And then this idea that giving negative feedback or criticism hurts relationships. I think that with some people who aren't mature enough to take it, it might kind of hurt the relationship. But like we talked about before, it's probably just an important step in their growth. So we should love them enough to give it to them, even if they don't want to. And then last of all, people need to learn things on their own. It's not your job to get involved. And yeah, that is true sometimes. Like it's not our job to just go up to people on the street and like hit the cigarette out of their hand and be like, what are you doing? Obviously, like having different relationships with people kind of determines, and like whatever they did also determines like whether or not you should say something. But I think that when this is an excuse or like we're just trying to cop out of like an uncomfortable situation and be like, oh, I won't say anything, that can be false. All right. Yeah. So, and like we've already established, the most loving, growth-encouraging relationships involve authentic, loving criticism and praise. And I just have found that to be true in my life over and over. Because they're real, you know? Like if somebody only ever says positive things and every time they're like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it, then you're always kind of like, but like, what do they really think, you know? So, yeah, thanks for your time on that. Any last thoughts before we move on to conversion tracking? Okay, cool. So we talked about conversion tracking a little bit last time. With almost any Google Ads account, unless you're doing something like a museum where they don't even have an online form for people to buy tickets, conversion tracking should usually be the very first thing you do. Whether this is Facebook ads or Google ads, any kind of advertising, you need to know what's going on. And conversion tracking is how you make that happen. Because Google and Facebook and other advertising platforms, they know if people clicked on your ad, but they don't know what happened on your website unless you set it up to tell them what happened on your website. And this is how you train algorithms to be on your side too, because these algorithms want you to succeed as a seller. So if they can see like, hey, Ryan, just so you know, like tons and tons of people are clicking on this keyword, but nobody's buying, I think we should turn off that keyword. Then that really helps me as a seller, you know? So I'm not going to go too in depth on how to add conversion tracking for Google Ads, but we'll look at it really quick. And to be completely honest with you guys, I'm so bad at this kind of thing. Things that involve code, I'm just like, oh, please no. And I just can't remember stuff like this very well, but this I've done enough times that I think I remember. So basically, under tools and settings on an account, you go to conversions, if you didn't see that. So we went to conversions here, and then from here, you can add what conversion events you want to be. So if you're like a realtor or maybe like a photographer or a videographer in some of your cases, a phone call might be a conversion because they're asking you about your services. In other situations, it might be to download an app or click on something on the website. So you'll go through this and you'll tell Google what the conversion is. And it kind of walks you through the steps. The next thing you need to do is use Google Tag Manager. So essentially, Google Tag Manager is a piece of code in your website that installs other pieces of code. So you don't have to go into the code every single time. You just have to do it once for Google Tag Manager. And you can do this for Google Analytics or conversion tracking on Google Ads. Think of it kind of like as, I don't know what example to give actually, as a saddle, and you are the conversion tracking, and the saddle helps you sit on the horse. Oh, nailed it. Thank you. Basically, you can put scripts on your website, and it's really helpful. So we won't go through the whole process, but to add a new tag, you'll go in here and it'll walk you through. You click tag configuration, and then you say this is for Google Ads. And yeah, so if you ever need to install this, Google it. It's not that hard of a process, and there's a million videos that will help you do it in like 10 minutes. But just be aware that this is kind of the overlying structure of how to do that. Eric? Yeah.
You have to install Google Tag Manager on your website like multiple times to use like Google Analytics and Google Ads.
No, just once. Yeah, that's what's so nice about it. All right. Different types of keywords. So we've talked about keywords a little bit. What we didn't talk about is that there are 3 types of keywords. There's broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And broad match tells Google, like, just get all of the keywords that are close to this. We'll watch a video about this in a second. Phrase match is a little bit more narrow than that, like only things that are really close to this. And exact match is like only exact this. That's funny. I misspelled.
That's probably intentional, right?
Yeah. I wish it was. I wish I was that put together. Perfect. That's actually how you spell it, though. That's funny. And the way that you tell Google which of these keywords you're working with is by, if you don't put anything, it's broad match. If you put it inside quotation marks, it's phrase match. And if you put it inside of these brackets, it's exact match. Oh, too fast, too quiet.
Wait, so phrase match was what? How do you explain that?
Watch this video, and I think that'll be even better than my definition. But if you still have a question, I'll tell you more after.
Google. They give you more precise control over your campaigns, but there are some important things to consider as you choose your match types. This updated video.
Let's talk about
Oh my
your poop.
gosh, dang
Your
it.
poop shouldn't feel too hard, like uncracked walnuts.
It also covers the changes Google has made since removing broad match modified keywords. Okay, let's get started. There are 3 keyword match types. These are broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And we'll look at how broad, phrase, and exact match also include close variants. And finally, we'll cover negative match keywords, which improve the performance of our campaigns by preventing our ads from being displayed on particular search queries. When we add keywords, they're added as broad match by default. This match type provides the greatest coverage or reach for the keywords you're bidding on. As the name suggests, it is going to broadly match the keywords to what people are searching for on Google. So if we were bidding on chocolate gifts, our ad This could appear as people
so
search
laggy,
for
dang.
chocolate, chocolate gifts, Cadbury gift box, chocolate gift delivery, and chocolate shop Chicago. All of these search queries broadly relate to the keyword chocolate gifts. So this is the default match type in Google Ads. The next match type is phrase match. This is where we put the keywords we're bidding on inside quote marks. This tells Google Ads that we want those words to be included in what someone is searching for, or that someone should be searching for something with the same meaning. For example, chocolate gifts in quotes can match chocolate gifts for Father's Day, chocolate hamper, and chocolate gifts. This match type will match keywords with the same meaning, and phrase match is more targeted than broad match. This means our keyword will not match Cadbury gift box because this does not have the same meaning as the phrase match keyword. Then there is exact match. This is where we place our keyword inside square brackets. This will then match the keyword exactly. So chocolate gifts in square brackets will match chocolate gifts, but not chocolate golf gifts. It matches exactly. When we use exact match, phrase match, and broad keywords, it's important to understand that these will also match close variants. This means that Google Ads will automatically match singular and plural versions of our keywords, misspellings, and other close variations of keywords. For example, if we're bidding on the exact match keyword of chocolate gifts, then our ad would be displayed for people searching for chocolate gifts, chocolate gift singular, and the misspelling of chocolate gifts. So remember, close variants will apply to your exact match, phrase, and broad keywords, and close variants will ignore function words like to and for, and when the words are reordered but retain the same meaning. Continuing our example of chocolate gifts, this exact match keyword could also mean our ads are displayed to people searching for chocolate for gifts and gifts chocolate. These are also considered close variants. Here we can see the relationship between each of the keyword match types. For the greatest reach and broadest targeting, use broad match keywords. For narrow and controlled targeting, use exact match, and for targeting that balances between the two, use phrase match. I also want to mention that there was another match type that Google removed at the start of 2021. This match type was called a broad match modifier or broad match modified keywords. This match type was more targeted than keywords we were targeting for broad match modified keywords. Performance of your campaigns. It's especially important to add negative keywords if you use broad match keywords. A negative keyword prevents your ads from being displayed, which allows you to reduce the number of less relevant impressions. Here we can see we've added the negative keyword of ideas, along with the broad match keyword of chocolate gifts. This means that people searching for chocolate gift ideas, ideas for chocolate gifts, and gift ideas won't see our ads. You will notice that our ads are still eligible to appear when someone searches for chocolate gift idea. If you don't want your ads to show for ideas singular and ideas plural, you'll have to add both of these as negative keywords in Google Ads. This is because negative keywords don't work in the same way as broad match keywords. You need to be specific with negative keywords. So they're the different match types you can use with your search.
So, does that answer your question, Eric?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Any other questions about match types?
Is it more expensive to do broad match?
Good question. What do you guys think? Eric?
I'm guessing that it would be, since you're not targeting keywords effectively, that it might be better to do in certain things. But I think you could use broad match for a little bit, kind of find the keywords that people are searching for and looking at your ads for.
Yeah.
So you can see what keywords your ads are shown for, and then also what the conversion rate was and all that. So you could use a broad match at the start of the campaign to just start figuring out what people are exactly searching for and what the best keywords to target on.
Yeah.
And then narrow it down to the phrase match or exact match.
Well said. Yeah, I think so. So short answer is yes. Broad match are more expensive just because you'll be paying for more clicks. But it can be good if you don't know. Yeah, like Eric says, if you're just getting started and you don't know which keywords are the most valuable. So. Okay, so here's another cool thing about Google Ads. You can set up something called rules, which automate certain procedures in Google Ads so that you don't have to do it. It'll just do it by itself. So for example, here's we're on the Fresno Art Museum here. Joseph's favorite museum. Yeah, I just barely turned their ads back on and it looks like they've been climbing up. Good to see. So, what did you say? You're welcome. Yeah, so we're getting like 40 clicks a day, spending about, let's see, let's turn this on. Spending about about $200 a day. So not too bad. So the way that you get to rules is you go to tools and settings, bulk actions, go to rules. So this is important for Google Ads grants too, because there's some rules applied with that. Like, for example, if the whole account gets below a 5% CTR, then you can be disqualified for the ads grant. Or if, what was the other one? Or if if an ad has a quality score below 2, you can lose the ads grant. So rather than manually combing through the account every week to make sure I don't have those things, which aren't good to have anyway, I just set up a rule where you go, okay, if pause a campaign if this condition is met. So under performance, so many, maybe it's actually attributes. Huh. I'm not seeing it, but
Can you just search for it?
yeah, let's do that. Ironically, this isn't a very good search algorithm from Google. But there's lots of things you can do. So different example, let's say that like, if you're running a campaign and like it's about to be the weekend, you don't want to be watching it, you can just be like, okay, if the average cost per click becomes more than $1.50, then pause the account and run this rule every day at every night. And then send me an email if you make a change. So pretty cool, right? Lots of things you can do with that. And it's honestly one of the advantages of Google Ads over Facebook Ads. Even though Facebook Ads, as a general rule, have a lower cost per click, Google Ads is always more passive. So you kind of just set it up and it runs, which is awesome.
You say passive because you don't have to create the picture and video or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And on Facebook, people get ad fatigue. Like they'll see because you have to select the audience so tightly, the same audience will see your ad like 8 times and you have to change out the audience and change out the ad. But Google is a little bit different that way. All right, next thing we'll talk about is something called ad extensions. Like we talked about last time, ad extensions just make something easier to click on. They make the ad bigger and they give it like other interesting widgets. So let's go back here. So if I go over here to ads and extensions, so here's a bunch of extensions. There's site link, which basically, these are like the most important pages on the website. So Google will show the different pages on the website. So if someone sees your ad and they're like, oh, I want to go to visit, rather than just like going to the homepage, then they're more likely to click on it. Call out extensions. So it's kind of silly in my opinion, but it's basically just like these 2 or like 3 word things they add on to the end of the ad. So good, affordable, fun, highly rated, great for couples. And then you can see here, highly rated, great for couples. So it just tacks it on to the description that you already put in the ad. And then there's like a call extension. So people can just call right from the ad. They can just click it there rather than coming onto the website. And Google likes it when you use these things. It gives them more to work with. So it's generally a good idea to just have as many extensions on your ads as possible, because it doesn't cost you more and it just makes it so your ads are cheaper. Yeah, Robert? I mean, the ideal percentage obviously is 100%, which is unattainable. But yeah, having anywhere between, I'd say like 5% and below is bad, and then probably like 5 to 10% is pretty good or normal, and then 10% or more click-through rate means it's a really good ad. So yeah, those are kind of some guidelines. Eric?
Why is social distancing and masks disapprove?
Because Google's really nitpicky about COVID terms. So yeah, at the beginning, before they were, like one of my museums had an like online tour, and I was like, what to do during COVID? Like best things to do during COVID, and everybody was searching for things like that at that time. Like we were just getting an insane amount of traffic, but then Google, they cracked down on it. Probably people were abusing it or something. I don't know. Okay, and then locations. Ezra was asking about this. So another really nice thing about Google Ads and any ads is you can tell them where you want the ads to show and where you don't. Because obviously, like if you're in a physical location in California, people aren't going to drive from Nevada to your location, probably. So the way you do that is over here, go to locations. It's kind of interesting too, because you can see like which locations are doing the best and like what's happening. So let's zoom in on this a little bit. So I established a 100-mile radius around the museum. And for this campaign, it's just a local campaign called Bring Visitors. Looks like that's the top campaign. We've got 200 clicks, 2,800 impressions. The click-through rate is 7%. And average cost per click is $3.56. Man, that's expensive. The museum would never be able to afford that. And you can kind of go down. So there's that one, and then there's another one I was testing of just the city of Fresno. So that got 92 clicks. And then I have another campaign too where it's like, oh, are you traveling to California? If you come to California, you have to come to the Fresno Art Museum. Right, Joseph? It's like the top thing to see in California, I think. Yeah. And that's doing pretty well too, about 40. It's crazy because this is like the least targeted location, obviously, but it has almost a 12% click-through rate. So not bad.
Oh, one of them has 17.65.
Yeah.
Hasn't got that many clicks.
Only 3 clicks, yeah. So that's the magic of having a really targeted ad group. This ad group is just like what to do in the fall, like cool fall activities, things to do in fall in Fresno. So that's what those are coming from. And because nobody else is competing for that keyword, I guess I'm probably like the only ads showing up, so people are coming to the site. Please do. Yeah.
What is your conversion for that program? Is it like time spent on the web page, or you have to have a conversion set up to do what you like?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No, they used to. I don't know, unless they changed it back. But I actually do have it set up for the Fresno Art Museum, and the conversion is like if they go to the Visit Us page, it's a conversion. So, yeah. Okay, and then we could talk a lot about this, but we won't. So in Google Ads, there's a bunch of other options too. Like you can do Google Shopping, Google Display Ads, Google Search Network. And these are all just different places to show your ads, but they're good to play with because some of them have way better conversion rates. So you've all seen Google Display Ads. And I'll show you where, just random websites. So I'm just going to thesaurus.com. Let's see if we can find some in the wild. Here it is. Slack. Yep. So yeah, it can be like a little video or a picture. A lot of the times these do better than traditional Google Ads because it's more work to make a picture or a video to show on someone's site. It's kind of interesting too because the CTR on these is like super low. It's like only like a couple people in 1,000 click on it, which I guess makes sense. Like I don't think I've ever clicked on a display ad on thesaurus.com and then been like, I think I'll sign up for Slack. But it's really cheap, so just check it out.
Does Google automatically pick the websites?
I've never actually run Google Display Ads because I just used the Google Ads grant, but I think that you can choose and yeah. Okay. Now we're going to put you guys to the test. Let's see.
What's the answer to
The synonym of the day. Do you know which one is a synonym for change? Which do you think it is? Yeah, I think it's vicissitude. When I was in high school, I was like, smart people know lots of big words. I need to know lots of big words. And I literally every time I found a word I didn't know, I added it onto a list. I had it handwritten 600 words on this list, and I would quiz myself. Yeah. It was a rush. I'll just say that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you guys will have to tell me if this is just dumb, but every table is a team, and how about we say you four over here are a team? Wait, but then you guys only have two. Okay. Well, okay, John and Rachel, you're with this table, and then you five in this corner are together, and then Ethan and Brigham, you guys are on the same team as Austin and Gabby. So, I'm gonna move this, not easily. So we're gonna do a little game here. Basically, I'm gonna say a question, and every table needs to send up a representative. And as soon as the representative knows the answer to the question, they can grab this marker and respond. So the two contestants will be here, and they'll be like, define this term, and they'll be like, yeah. Oh, you don't get a point, Ryan. Better luck next time. but you can grab it. Other rules, you can't be, no part of you can be over this before you're actually grabbing it. So you can grab it mid-question, but I'll stop talking. Where did this printer go? It's right here. Okay. Just slipped into oblivion. So, all right, these two tables first. Jared's heart rate is just going up. Send up a representative, these two tables. All right. All right. Do you guys need another player, Eric? I wonder if you should be on this table since they already have 4.
I read it where?
You don't have to write it. You just have to tell me. Yeah. And if we're not sure if it's like a good enough answer, then we'll have the class vote. Okay, are you guys ready? All right. What does CPC stand for? Nice. All right. So now you guys stay up, Ben. All right. All right. How many tables are there? There's 7. Okay. 1. All right. Next representative from this table. Ben's got lightning reflexes. Okay, and then Ben is from this table. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what does ROAS stand for? Okay, yeah, phone.
Wait, how do you spell it?
ROAS.
Can we steal it?
Can you know? Okay, yeah, ask for help. Ask for help.
Return on ad spend.
What is it?
Return on ad spend.
You got it. Okay. All right. Next table. Gabby, Ethan, Austin. Okay. This one I'm not going to ask for the definition. I'm going to give the definition. You guys have to give the term. This is when somebody sees the ad.
Impression?
You got it. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, guys. Ben is just on fire.
Our people get so much extra credit.
All right, next table. Next table. You guys. Next table will be deciding who you want to go up next. All right, Cooper. Let's see if you can end table 2's streak. Okay, this is the budget for how much you're willing to spend on ads.
Well, if we say it and get it wrong.
If you say and get it wrong, the other team gets a chance.
Budget for like what? What's big?
So, any budget. So, like a day budget, week budget.
Ad spend.
Oh, you got it! Yeah. All right. So you stay up, Cooper. Okay. Next table. All right. Let's hurry, guys. When it's your table's turn, just send somebody up. All right, Rachel. Okay, this is a type of keyword. It's a keyword that you don't want to compete for. Yeah, you guys can phone a friend. You guys can just ask anytime. I'll do that. Type of keyword that you don't want to compete for. You got it. Negative keyword. All right. Are you from table 6, Rachel? 7? Okay, nice. All right.
Jorge, you're going down, bro. I am. You're going down.
All right. This is what's that? Oh, you're good. Either way. Yeah. Okay. This is the first thing you need to set up when you're running a Google Ads account in order to know which keywords are working and which ones are not. Oh, you can't wait. No, you put it back. Phone a friend and then you can grab it.
No, you grabbed it. Yes, to answer.
So this is the first thing you need to set up to know which conversions are coming through.
Go, grab it.
You got it. Conversion tracking. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is the program that Google offers to nonprofits where they can get $10,000 in ad spend per month. Google Ads Grant. Yeah, you got it. You're 2, right?
Yeah.
All right, next table. Okay. What does this is a hard one. What does CPM stand for?
Cost per mil.
Cost per mil. You got it. All right.
We're so close.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What does CTR stand for? Click-through rate. You got it.
Good question.
Yeah. Okay, next table. All right, Devin. Let's see. Okay, this is the most narrow kind of keyword match. The most narrow kind of keyword match.
Exact.
You got it. Exact match. All right. Okay, you guys. What's that?
Going back to every time.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So if you have a physical business and you don't want people to travel really far, this is going to be really important to watch or to set up on your account so that people don't have to travel too far. Yeah, locations targeting. Nice. Okay, what table are you? Are you 7? Okay. All right, Jacob. Okay, here's a tricky one. What is the Sherlock Holmes formula? Like, what is that? What are the actual terms? Not what does it do, but like, what is the formula? You guys can phone a friend. Okay, what is it?
Conversion rate times cost per click.
Equals. Oh wait. No, sorry, that's not it. Okay, close though.
Is it equal to prop?
But what is the actual formula? No, not times cost per
If I can
click.
get it, can set up a point.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah, we're-
conversion profit times your conversion rate equals your cost per click.
You got it. Nice. All right. Wait, are you guys 7?
Over 6 or 7.
I think you're 6.
We have 2 points.
We have 2 points.
Oh, okay. Then I think you're wrong. No, wait. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you guys are 6.
We should.
Who did I give points to?
Points. We gotta give points to someone else.
Okay.
We should.
Saying we should have.
Yeah, you're the last one.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's basically all the questions I have. All right, last one. This is like, I didn't actually say this in class, but it's from the reading. What does PPC stand for? Eric? Paperclip. All right, Team 2 wins. Team 1.
Well, no.
No, they're Team 1. Oh, wait, no, he's Team 1. Okay. All right, next time we need a different scorekeeper. Yeah, pay-per-click. Just so you know, Google Ads and a lot of other advertising platforms, they're PPC. So if you hear that term, just be aware that they're talking about places where you put in a keyword and compete for keywords and you pay per click. So thanks for coming to class today. I'll see you guys on Monday.